All right, welcome back to another episode of Catching with Craig. We are on Otisco Lake today. Fan favorite, or my favorite at least. Although sometimes it's tough in the early months. Now we're like May 15th, I think, today, which is a little cold. Water temperature is a little bit better than it was at Harvey's, 53.8. We did have a few warm days in between, so it warmed up a little bit. Gotta chase the smallies. I think there must be a kayak tournament going on today. I was gonna run over to that first point that you saw in a previous video with Jason when we were pre-fishing in his fall tournament, where I ended up picking up, I think it was almost a 5-pound smallie, as well as a few other smaller smallies, 3s and 2s. So it was a good trip in theory. I was gonna run there first, but there were 5 kayaks sitting on it. So we chose to come over to the opposite side of the lake. Unfortunately, this is the eastern side of the lake, so you can tell the sun is coming up and the other side's gonna warm up first. I'm really only fishing this one house right here, this little blue one, right in front of this causeway, because there's a nice drop off and there's a tree in front of it. I'm gonna fish this real quick. If we don't have any action on this one specific house, I'm probably gonna run to the north end and to the western side of the lake. The western side of the lake is gonna get the sun first. It's also gonna warm up first. And there's a nice little flat behind a point where we might be able to get them on a crank or a spinnerbait, potentially a jerkbait, something like that. At 53.5, that's not a bad temperature. So, I mean, we technically could get some fish here. And you can see there are some marks here, and it looks like tall grass, 14 foot. Hopefully you can see that. Sometimes it comes through nice, sometimes it doesn't, but we have grass here. There might be potentially some fish sitting around it too. So they still might be out here pretty deep. So we're gonna give it a shot and see what we can do, and I guess we'll just go from there. Stay tuned. All right guys, throwing the Kitech up here. Just had a little bump there, I wasn't sure what that was. I might have hooked onto a weed, but this is the dock I was talking about before, and there are weeds below us here. I'm just trying to drag this on bottom right now to see if I can get any sort of reaction. I know there's fish in this area. I'm throwing black right now. It's early in the morning. I might swap over to a brighter color. I haven't decided yet. I'm kind of just trying to see what's going on. That was weird too. I don't know what that was. Kind of just dragging it with the boat. Must have got a weed. I don't know, those kind of look like they're perch, to be honest. I don't know if you guys can see that, but a lot of little marks right here, and then you can see they're suspended right there. So that could be perch. Maybe we have to pull out a little bit. I do have that Derrick tied on, so I might have to try that as well. I haven't decided what method I'm gonna approach them, if I'm gonna try to vertically jig them or not. Gonna get a couple casts here in front of this house and then see where that takes us, and we'll kind of go from there. Tone down this trolling motor, so they're getting it. Okay, let's get out of here. All right guys, up at the north end now, I have a orange storm wiggle wart on. Caught a big walleye on this last year, up a little further around the point. Just retied a leader here. Gonna try to get this rolling a little bit. We're in 9 foot of water. People caught one shallow in front of us on reaction bait. I'm gonna swing in, do this bank here. Now this is a big flat basically, but it drops off to our far left over here. And gonna fish this point in and this cove here. Fish it all the way around and then circle back out to deep. Whoa, helps if I open my bail. Going to circle back out to deeper again. We marked some fish on the way in 10. I don't know what's up here per se right now for grass because it's so cold, so dead. I thought it would get better the water temperature up this way. On the north end, I thought that it would be warmer, but it's actually 51 up here, so the south end might actually, that's sad, south end's a little warmer. My mom is throwing a red rattle trap. I don't remember who makes it, to be honest, but it's a silent one. It's the bigger one. because she's throwing it on a heavier rod just in case, because she also would be interested in catching a muskie. So we're gonna work this cove here. If this doesn't work, then move to the north end and potentially try fishing slower for some smallies in the big weed bed that are just coming up to start spawning, pulling up into the shallow, or fishing slower as well for some big largies. There's a big drop off in 20 foot out there too, so. What? Am I missing?
It just came up the surface. Do we have carp out here?
We do, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind. It came up on the surface, I saw its fins and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But
You usually don't see that.
Oh.
Well, muskies do that. Carp usually jump.
Oh, that's right.
Remember, the muskie will come up. I've explained this a couple times in our videos before, guys. But muskie will come up and they'll nose at the top of the water because they're super inquisitive and they want to know what you are and what you're doing. So apparently she just saw one in the back here. That's a good idea. It could work. I'm hitting a lot of rock here. It's a lot of gravel, just like on the bank. A lot of little loose rock. Mom's gonna try to smoke a muskie in the back. She's got a bigger leader, so, and heavier duty. I assume they'll take that red rattle trap. I'm pretty sure they will. Red's kind of common for the spring, guys. Spring and fall, but spring a lot too. So she's throwing for a muskie. I'm still trying to get some reactionary smallmouth. This is a big smallmouth pocket. We caught a bunch of them up here with Jason last year as well. So I'm really hoping I can get them coming up. But if I can't, that's fine. I might just have to slow down and go back out and fish the drop off. No worries, we're gonna keep trying, see what we can do here. That's one, guys. That's one. That's one. Right here. Is this a big crappie?
You got one?
This is something. It could be a smallie. Don't know. Could be a smallie. Or is this a striper? No, it's a largie, isn't it?
No, you got one.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Big fat largie.
Nice.
I saw him sideways. He's so wide. I thought it was a crappie. He actually just swiped at it, guys. Look at this. Can you see that right there? It's actually on the outside of his mouth. He swiped at it and hit it. Man, is he cold. Holy crap. Oh, wow. Let's see. There we go. Look at that, guys. Nice largie. 2.5 pounder coming off this dock here. Right in front of it. Swiped at it. Crushers are all red. Cold fish. Man, that's a nice fish though. Not bad. 2.5, probably. Maybe a little better. All right, guys, let's get this guy back. There he goes. Water's clear, clean. Nice, actually, up here. Crazy. I can't tell if that's a fish there or not. Right there. Hard to tell. It was a fish. There he goes. He's moving toward you. There he is. Well, I had a fish, guys. There was a smallie on a bed, and next to it was this rock bass. That was not what I was looking for, but a little rocky. I guess some of them were rock bass. All right, well, there's another rocky, guys. It's just hard to see the beds. This water's so green. There he is. Got him. I guess it's a rock bass, guys. All right, guys, so we've been looking at these beds, and look at this smallie. She got a 3.5 pounder. I netted the fish with her gloves in the net because she didn't realize she put them in there. So we're gonna let it go. So we're looking at the beds on the lake, and I've seen all these males, and she throws off the back half of the boat into the deeper water, and off goes a 3.5 pound, 352 it weighed in at. I wasn't even recording the fight. I wasn't paying attention because I was watching all these beds as we drove by, and I caught a bunch of rock bass. I think you saw 3 rock bass in a row. Oh, let me fix your bait. I think I ruined it, or I think you ruined it, right? So I was seeing all the males on the beds, and I was just poking around trying to grab a couple, and I saw a few big 3s, what I thought were 3s, jump off the side, and they left real quick off the beds. They're real spooky. Even when I was far away from them, I couldn't get them to take it. She throws off the deep end of the boat and hooks into a 3.5 pounder. It was a 352 we weighed. So that's pretty cool. That's something different. I knew the smallies were here, and I've been watching these beds as we went down this bank, one after another, and she's been dragging that. Hold on, sorry, pardon this interruption. Sorry about that, Mr. Diesel drove by. She threw off because she was chasing the big ones that went out as I spooked them off the beds, and finally got one of the females that were about to come up, basically. I think the females are they're not locked on. They're nowhere near locked on. The males are starting to make beds, I think, and I'm seeing a bunch of little small ones, and then some bigger females are around the beds, but not anywhere near aggressive or anything. And it just picked it up on the outside of the bed, like out deeper. So we're fishing, I don't know, anywhere beds in 5 to 0 feet of water, and she must have hooked that one out in 10. So I spooked a big female off and went out there, and it was like, oh, okay, I can eat. All right, guys, well, that's the end of this video. As you can see, the boat is covered and ready for the night. It's on the chargers. I actually am doing this outro about 3 hours late because I sort of forgot to do one because my family and I, we went to the zoo after the lake. So we're a little behind on this outro, and I apologize, but I got home, packed up the kid and my wife and my grandmother, and we all just ran down to the zoo. Great night, we had a good time, but now I have to put my mask away, get everything sorted out, get my boat, or my hat back in the boat, I should say, my glasses off into my truck again, because otherwise I'll forget them tomorrow. That's always how that happens. So anyway, it was a good day. My mom got a 3.5 pounder. I got a 2.5, give or take, I think it was. Somewhere in there, big largie, nice largie. Dropped a nice smallie, unfortunately. We saw them, they started coming up on beds, but they're not fully committed yet, so doing our best. I think we're gonna try Oneida tomorrow. Not really 100% sure on it. We have to check the wind. As you know, that lake is big, wide, and shallower-ish, so it does pick up really bad when the wind starts to get going. So I think if it does, as long as we can get out there safely, we're gonna run down to the canal, see if we can get some fish out of the river, because the smallies are starting to pull up there. But otherwise, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you can, hit that subscribe button down below. And I guess until next time, just roll that music.